Hi, and welcome to Friday's podcast on our sales and strategy and market opportunities. We're going to be talking today, really exciting, about the new GCC agreement, and I'm just going to give you an update. So you've seen the news and the excitement and everything else around that. But what does it actually mean for you as exporters and importers? You know, the really good opportunities that we're going to see. Now, I can talk obviously from experience. I've worked in Saudi and in Doha, in Qatar, so you know I know how things work out there, how people are, etc., cultures and everything else. But wow, what a golden opportunity! This has been going on for a long time. This GCC, obviously, the government will take every praise it can that they've done it. But this is international trade at its best when it's used properly. But again, sometimes it's never used in the best way. But hopefully, we're going to see some opportunities. So again, some trade agreements, export markets. We're going to concentrate on for sales, particular on the opportunities there. So we see all these trade deals, but what do they actually mean? I think that's a lot of confusion. So we're going to be homing in every Friday on different markets. So we may do things like the CPTPP agreement, we might do India agreement, and we'll give you an update on the market and what the opportunities are there. So you can see it firsthand, because sometimes it's quite confusing to understand. You know, but why is this deal so exciting? It's exciting for me because it's an area that I really enjoy, and I wouldn't have said that probably 5 years ago, but age and understanding culture and everything has really made me realise that actually these are golden opportunities for UK businesses if they get it right. So it's okay doing a deal, it's okay doing everything, but now we have to now move this on and get things in place. You know, UK trade deal represents one of the most significant trade agreements for British exporters in recent years. The headline figures speak for themselves. 93% of exports potentially benefiting from tariff reductions, two-thirds removed a tariff reduction. That makes a big difference. I think things like certificate of origins, obviously this will be all mapped out, where you have to go for, certification, embassy certificates. It'll be interesting to see how that develops, because a trade deal should reduce a lot of this. 20% trade growth, bilateral trade projected to increase, and 8 billion GDP boost. You know, let's see. You know, that is the opportunity for let's get it better than that. You know, it frustrates me we talk the figures. Well, let's get the figures and let's help you exporters and importers understand. Where we're different, we go deep inside and we start to have a look at where the potential is. Combined UK GCC bilateral trade is 53 billion. Add 8 billion on that, it's quite a significant amount, if you can imagine. But where are the markets? Where are the key markets? We talk GCC. What is GCC? Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, UAE. That's what it is. If you're not going into these markets, start to think now very aggressively that this could be an opportunity. Yes, we have challenges. We have a geopolitical headwind at the moment in Iran, and that could disturb a lot of things. But obviously, you know, UK don't talk about these kind of things, do they? But they are there, and we'll guide you through that. So if people are looking for these opportunities, that's the whole point of the podcast. We're guiding you. We're making sure that you're fully aware of where the headwinds are and the things to expect. But Saudi Arabia, as you can see, it's worth 13.8 billion. We put imports on here because some of you will be importing, and some of you will see a great opportunity to import certain products from these markets. You know, it's worth 10.2 billion. Qatar, it's worth 4.3 billion. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's still a big amount. It's our 46th largest market. Saudi Arabia is our 25th largest. Kuwait, part of a 53 mil. Again, we couldn't get a lot out there, but it's a bilateral trade agreement. UAE is worth 24. Actually, I thought Saudi would be bigger than the UAE for some reason. I don't know why, but I thought that when I was doing the data. But interesting, if you look at exports for the UAE, it's worth 15.5 billion. When you think altogether, Saudi Arabia is only 13 billion. That's just for exports. For imports, so we have a significant amount. UAE really gives you an opportunity here, and people have to start thinking about this, of how to move goods in and using UAE as free ports and all around there. You know, talk to us. This is where we can save you thousands of pounds and get you competitive in markets. You can even use UAE for your GCC markets, but also you can use it further afield. you can use it as a hub. So again, there's lots of opportunities here. Nobody talks about it, and these are the things that it's okay, 8 billion, but what does that consist of and how do we get there? So 19th largest trading partner. Exports to Bahrain, 840 million. Surprised me. I've been to Bahrain as well while I was in Riyadh and Dammam. It's just across the bridge. Again, 840, it's not anything to be sniffed at. There could be a good opportunity for you. Any company that's looking at opportunities, there could be opportunities. Oman, again, 1.8 billion. It's surprising, isn't it? And these are 200. These are 2025 data. We couldn't get the UAE 2020. We were struggling to get that, but we got the last quarter of 2024. But most of the others are quite up to date. Again, Qatar was a bit of a struggle, but the other ones we tended to get. I wanted to get the Saudi. It's interesting. Again, why I'm interested, I know because I've worked and I'm still working in Saudi and I'm still working in parts of Qatar and I work in UAE. Actually, UAE is a very small part of me. I do a lot of work in UAE when it comes to logistics and customs warehousing all around there, but not particularly route to market. It's something we've been talking about a lot. Relationships drive business, it's very important. So if you're thinking about going into these markets, you got to get on a plane. I know it's not ideal at the moment with the situation, but we can't stand still. So you have to make a strategy decision really. Trust takes time. Trust me. I know, don't let anybody kid you. If you're going into these markets and you want to be successful, you have to accept that this is a long, long process at times. You could be speaking, I've done training out there, got all excited, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that, and nothing. 3, 4, 5 months. Then an email, similar to the CPT. Then you suddenly get an email. Oh, yes, we want to do this, as if nothing's happened. It's like you've been ghosted, but you haven't. So I've been involved in this, so I know exactly what the process is and how it works. It's a very challenging market, but once you get in there, once you get yourself known, it'll open up many opportunities. That first hurdle, so don't be put off by the first hurdle. And also make sure you understand the knowledge. You have to then get somebody on the ground who can work. We work with people in the UAE, and we work with a company or a big training company in the Saudi to help businesses. So again, it's long-term presence creates opportunities. That's what they want to see. They want to see your investment. Qatar, places like Doha, Saudi, Riyadh, Dammam, Jeddah, they want to see investment. They want to see what your presence and what you're going to give to the market, and they'll support you. So again, it opens up many, many opportunities. But again, it's never easy if you're new to it. There's a lot of talk about food and drink. Why has it not been successful in the past? Because there's high duties. But again, it doesn't all of a sudden everybody will talk the talk. Doesn't all of a sudden mean that you're going to break into that market tomorrow. There's things you have to think about. Again, I put the numbers in there just to give it as a 93% of tariff coverage, 400 billion UK relationship, 19.8% trade growth, and 8 billion in GDP contribution. 93% is the key one. But again, people automatically think, and this is very important, if your sales, and I hope you're watching this for sales, because this is the whole point of supporting you. Tariff coverage is gone. Oh, it's dead easy. It's not. There's still tariff documents within there that could and ultimately fail your business. So it's very important that, yes, things are being wiped out, but you still have to prove where the goods origin and all these things. So again, your documentation is key. So don't just assume everything goes out the window. It doesn't always work like that, even though, they'll talk about that. Again, I put which sectors benefit, and I started to have a look at some data in there. And again, automotive, UK goods exports both the UAE and Saudi Arabia, strong and growing. Food and drink currently low. Again, great opportunity, but again, there'll be barriers. So again, understand the barriers. Technologies we see fast growing in the UAE, logistics as well. Electronics, goods exported, telecommunications, sound equipment is growing. There is an appetite there. Education, as in me, I know there's an appetite there for the 2030 vision, but trust me, it's not easy. Healthcare, UK goods exports to the side, including medical and pharmaceutical products. Again, high demand for UK clinical expertise and digital health. Again, if you're in that area, these are the things to think about. Professional services, number one, services to Saudi. It's a big, big market. Trade related, business services, financial, professional, huge opportunities. Excuse me. Again, I've put on here food and drink. About 85% of global food demand is supplied by imports, meaning the region is structurally dependent on international suppliers. What does that tell you? It tells you there could be good opportunity for a lot of UK exporters or exporters around the world. Could UK and drink suppliers step in to capture a greater share of this demand? Yes, there'll be opportunities there, but again, make sure you're aware of the market and what the opportunities are within that market. It's very and again, barriers do hold you back, but there'll be barriers still there. Don't let anybody kid you. So again, it's overcoming them barriers and letting them understand. Investment improves longer business visits. Again, extended permission for businesses. I travelled just for everybody when I went to Saudi. I was only there in snippets because I was doing some training there for ICC and also for the CEDA, Saudi Export Development Authority. I didn't struggle. I got a visa. I thought Riyadh Airport was incredible. It was friendly. It was very supportive. I had no issues whatsoever going into Saudi. I didn't have my authority, my certification, because obviously you need to get a card well, not a card, but it's a digital thing to allow you to go in. I hadn't done that. If you haven't done that and you're arriving to Riyadh, there's horror stories, nothing at all. They have everything set up. Same with Dammam. I found Dammam much busier than Riyadh, not as thing, but still very smooth, very smooth. And if I knew you're flying with intercompany transfer, improved provisions for moving staff between the UK and the GCC, investment, stronger frameworks to protect UK investments. Again, lots of, particularly in Saudi, we're working with companies in the, particularly in the for soliciting, solicitor, for documentation, for approvals, for getting you set up. We have all that set up. So anybody who wants to speak to us on that, please speak to us. Business expansion support. Again, clear pathways for UK companies looking to establish and grow operations in the Gulf. Again, lots of opportunities there. Again, procurement opportunities, government and public sector procurements. Has got a good opportunity. Again, in UAE and Bahrain, further GCC-wide procurement. So again, some opportunities there we see. Trade deals not guaranteed exports, as we know. Do your market research, customer and documentation, pricing and payment, and distribution. But we're here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to support you in this journey. We've created an AI app on the market research. We can help you and support you. We're ahead of the game here, and we have the experience. We've been in the market. It's very important. But rules of origin matter. Again, we don't know. We're just waiting to hear. Proof of origin. Again, there will be a proof of origin, obviously, for tariff rates, product qualification. Do products meet specific rules? We'll still have that. Supplies declarations, because supplies become a critical part. Remember, export supply chain is changing beyond recognition within the last year. You've got to be ahead of the game. Again, come and do our training. We can support you in these kind of areas. The hidden question, preferential tariffs, product qualification, supplies declaration. They're the key things just to have a think about. Very important. Lessons from working. Again, it's just that building the relationships. Long-term thinking, presence creates opportunities. I'm a year and a half in, doing a lot of work there, and I'm still in them early stages. Again, questions every business should ask. Product fit. Could my GCC market generally suit our products or services? Target customers. Who's exactly our customers in the GCC? Market barriers. Do we fully understand the regularity, culture, and logistic barriers we may face? And again, we can support you there. Local partners. Do we need markets? We've got plenty of partners in countries that are happy to work with UK businesses. Again, speak to us on that if it's something you're interested in. Again, this is new now, so we've decided on Friday to look at, on the sales and strategy, to look at these opportunities where the markets are. Monday, we've got our customers and compliance. Wednesday, obviously, we do the weekly trading intelligence, which again will cover GCC and other areas. So again, up to date every Wednesday, you get your information with everything that's happening in global trading that week. And then Sunday, history, trade and supply chains. Thanks everybody who's jumped onto the history trade on the Silk Road. A lot of work goes into there, and we're looking forward to doing the next one on the Roman Empire, which is very good. So again, thanks very much for joining us. Again, we can support you in these kind of areas. And again, key takeaways, as we've seen: major tariff reductions, automotive, strategy, GCC. Trade agreements open doors, like you said. Again, jump on our YouTube channel, that's all we ask. Subscribe and look at our website, see what's on there. Again, we can support you in different areas. And again, thanks very much for joining us. We'll keep you up to date. And again, let us know. Let us know how you're going on. Let us know what your barriers are, because we'll talk about it. That's the whole point of the of doing this. So again,